Welcome, everyone, to the Everything Show, Chris's birthday cast edition.
Yay, happy birthday.
Hi, guys.
What's up, Chris? How you doing, bro?
Not bad. How's everybody doing?
All right.
Good.
What's up? What's up, Scott? And I'm Matrix Lloyd. Hello. All right. So tell us, dude, what's happening today on this wonderful day?
There was an interesting rumor that came out. I guess this is going to be the unofficial start of news for episode 9.
Uh-oh.
Potentially. So, I mean, this isn't really a spoiler because this is like really, really early in production. But
yeah,
allegedly, the working title for the film is Black Diamond.
Ooh, neat.
Or Black Diamond.
But is that just one of those things that they call the movie, but it's not really the name of the title?
Yeah.
Like Panda Bear or Galactic Unicorn or some shit or whatever?
Yeah, basically,
Space 69.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So now he pitched, J.J. Abrams pitched Lucasfilm, right, and Disney, right? But did they accept his pitch or?
I really don't know, to be honest. I'm sure he has an idea of what he wants the story to be. All we know is that he's saying that it's going to tie in episodes 1 through 8 together. So everything, basically.
So he's not throwing anything out that Rian Johnson did, right?
I would be very surprised if he did. I'm sure he's probably going to take things in a different direction, like subtly, but Abrams was a producer on 8, so he probably has probably had a pretty good idea of everything that was going forward. And also too, Rian Johnson also had a slight hand in making or in helping to write Bloodline, I believe it was.
Oh.
So he what he was setting up was definitely something that they all knew about. Like I don't think any of them saw the final product and was like, wait a minute, what? Like, I think they all had a pretty good idea. And to be honest with you, I don't think all of that was Rian Johnson. I think there were probably some things in there that Disney said, listen, we want this in there because it leads to something else.
Mm.
But who knows, you know?
Yeah. So there's going to be nothing with Leia in the next one.
I'm sure she'll be mentioned. I doubt she'll be in it, though.
Mm.
Originally, they said she was going to have a big part, which, seeing how 8 ended, I could see what they meant. Like, well, I mean, I don't know for sure, but I have a feeling of that she was going to do something pretty big in episode 9. But
right,
like I said in the last cast, I'm wondering if all the extra stuff that they didn't put in this, they'll just simply put into 9.
It is possible. Yeah.
Also. So that way, at least they've got some, like, okay, we don't want to actually use it here. We may use it for the Blu-ray,
right?
But if we don't use that, then we'll just stick it into 9, and that way, with her sad passing.
So, like, we know Snoke is dead. Spoilers, by the way, for Last Jedi, but I'll put it in the beginning of the title. But so there's not going to be anybody else other than Kylo Ren in the Knights of Ren?
We don't know. There could be.
I don't know why. I just have a feeling what they showed was a puppet.
So someone made that point too today, or it was a couple of days ago. They were like, you notice how everybody's like, yes, they showed that they showed his quote unquote dead body, but they said, we don't really know he's dead until the end of the series. You know what I'm saying, or the trilogy. He could be pulling a fast one on us because someone said, really think about it. If he's that strong, I mean, yeah, Palpatine died, but if he's that strong and he says, I cannot be betrayed, what if he has some sort of contingency plan? Like he wasn't really there.
If it was just somebody Ren stuck in. I know it sounds like a idiotic thing to say, but it just...
Well, Ren wouldn't
he was working through
big Snoke in there. Anyway.
Snoke
he wouldn't do that, right?
Yeah, I doubt he would do that. I think personally, I think Snoke's dead, but I don't know. Who knows?
But if he's supremely powerful, he should be able to bring himself back from the dead, right?
Well, I mean, who knows? I don't know. They could introduce some sort of force power like that. Someone made a really good point too and said, who knows? Maybe he comes back as a force ghost or something. because he's not a Sith, so he could potentially have that ability. His body didn't fade away, so I
But
doubt
Darth
that
Vader
happened.
was a Sith, and he came back as a Force ghost, but as for the good side though.
Yeah, but he went back to the light first.
Okay.
What if that Snoke was per se a puppet, and the genuine Snoke was off somewhere else? Because they did show a holograph of Snoke pretty much mopping the floor with somebody else.
With Hux, yeah.
Yeah, so it could have been possible that what we saw there was technically a puppet per se.
Anything's possible, really.
Yeah. So Kylo is full on evil then.
It looks like it. I mean, as of right now, it looks like he is.
And Phasma's still alive.
I doubt that. I don't know.
Really?
See, my thing is this. Like, right before that scene, they showed her armor deflecting a blaster bolt. Now, while that is different than falling into, an explosion, I mean, that armor is made from the Imperialists, which was one of Palpatine's personal ships. So, I don't know. It's possible that she comes back injured. I just right now with Phasma, I think it's too late. I think they've kind of that's one of my criticisms of this movie, and not just of 8. It's of 7 and 8.
I think the reason they showed her eye, hold on, Scott. I think the reason they showed her eye was the fact that she's coming back.
It's possible.
I don't think they would do that with the eye, meaning that I don't need this effing armor. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna choke the shit out of you, basically. You know what I say? You, yeah. I mean, I think somehow she's gonna come back. Somehow, I feel it. J.J. Abrams has the last attempt to make her shine.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Hopefully out of the helmet so we can see what she looks like.
I think she will be out of the helmet next time. If she's alive.
Yeah.
I did a video before, and I was thinking, why couldn't they just have the moment that Poe Dameron was talking to Hux and screwing with him, like joking around, instead of having him destroy the Dreadnought, why couldn't they have captured him? And then Kylo Ren, say, where's the girl? Where is she? And then they could have did a whole completely different thing. They could have had Kylo Ren find out where Rey was and then go after her and encounter Luke on the planet. And then they could have had Hux with Poe and Hux really screwing with Finn and Rose and say, listen, I'll let him go, but I need this technology from Canto Bight. They could have twisted it, and they could have made it like, we need this from this guy and we'll let him live. But just screwing with them because they're egotistical and they feel who the hell they are, the First Order, And then they could have did something completely different with Leia. Like Leia could have encountered Snoke, and Snoke could have looked at her like, you're nothing, But then meanwhile, she really is something. She really is something, because maybe she shielded herself from, him because he never talks about her at all, like Jedi-wise. It's always Luke, Luke, Luke.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they could have went a completely different direction. I mean, I really don't. I mean, I'm not gonna pick and pick here, but I'm just saying that this could have went a completely different way. But anyway, what's done is done. So, now this new trilogy, Chris, what the hell is that about?
That is apparently something completely separate from what we know. So it's really going to be like the sandbox that Rian Johnson can play in. I mean, he can pretty much do whatever he wants within reason. I don't necessarily know if it's going to be, the Old Republic or something like that. I doubt it. What's really going to be interesting is seeing the time period that it takes place in. Because I'm personally, I'm hoping it shows maybe the origin of the Jedi, different from the Old Republic, like maybe even go before the Old Republic. Because what we now know, and I didn't know this to be honest, that painting that Luke that was on Ahch-To on the floor where Luke was training Rey, that depicts that alien in the middle of the light and the dark. Apparently, that was the Prime Jedi.
Ooh.
So
Nice.
again, it seems to be leaning towards this, like the original Jedi were more concerned about balance than they were concerned about just the light or just the dark, which is, if I remember correctly, in the old canon, there was a very similar idea that the planet Tython, I think it was called Tython, had the two moons, Ashla and Bogan, which in canon and in the old canon meant light and dark, respectively. And if you lean towards one or the other, you would go to whichever moon corresponded to which side of the Force you were leaning towards, but the planet itself was in balance.
So in other words, you could have the Force not balanced because there's too many Jedi and not enough evil, right? Or no? See, the way they say balance is they don't care if there's a million Jedi. To them, that's balance. And that's not really balance.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird. I mean, that's not really balanced at all.
Well, that's really where the Jedi of the Republic, not the old Republic, but the Republic from like the prequels, that was really their error, was that they believed, it has to be the light. But what they failed to realize is that the Force has its own sentience, and it from what we know, it wants to be in balance. So whenever the light gets too strong, the dark will rise, and whenever the dark gets too strong, the light will rise. I mean, despite what happened to Snoke in the movie, he said two things that were absolutely right from what we know now. He said, darkness rises and light to meet it. That's literally the story that they're telling right now. And when he told Kylo Ren, he said, the stronger you get in the dark, your equal in the light will rise. And he thought it was Luke, but Luke is not leaning towards the light anymore.
But isn't Luke the balance? Isn't Luke the balance to Snoke?
Yes.
So then who's the balance to Leia?
Leia is not a Jedi, so she doesn't need balance.
Oh. Okay.
See, and Luke, I don't consider Luke in this movie a Jedi until the end of the movie. In my opinion, he's more.
Dies and then Luke dies.
He gave up his Force thing, his Jedi thing.
Yeah, I don't consider Luke. I consider Luke whatever they're considering a gray Jedi in this. Mm-hmm. In this canon, whether that's a Bendu or whatever, he's more of a Jedi at the end, but even still, I wouldn't consider him like a Jedi in the respect of like the prequels. I would say he probably leans more towards what the original Jedi were.
So when's Mace Windu coming back?
I know, he should be back already.
I mean, maybe Leia could like fly through time and grab him when he gets thrown out the window. I got to tell you, I even before Disney bought that, I never, or bought Star Wars, I was always like, there's no way Mace died that way. There's no way. Yeah. They just showed Ben Kenobi and Anakin leaping from car to car, in the air, like with the Force. It's like, come on, man. I mean,
and we never saw him hit the ground either. We just saw him fall out of the window.
So could it have been like with Mace Windu, where like he said, I'm running because of the distress call afterwards? Like maybe he was going to come back, and then Yoda sent that thing out, like, get the hell out of here, run away.
Sure.
And he said, yeah, all right, I'm out. Because
I wouldn't mind it. I know they're not going to do it, but
right. But let me ask you a question. So technically, Darth Vader did find every single Jedi and killed them, with the exception of Luke and Yoda, and Ben Kenobi, that whole thing? Or was there those people from Clone Wars that survived, like Ahsoka and all these other people?
Well, as of right now, Kanan, Ezra, and Ahsoka are still alive. But the things to keep in mind here as well, Ahsoka came out and word for word stated, I am not a Jedi. So she is whatever they're considering in the middle. You know what I'm saying?
So she's off the radar.
I would say so. We don't even know what happened to her.
What does that mean? Like, in other words, Like they just announce they're not Jedi and then they're not Jedi? I mean, I don't understand how that works.
So basically, like the way that it worked in the Old Republic was that if you weren't a part of the Jedi Order, you weren't a Jedi.
So
if you
just like wording it.
basically, yeah. So, which is one of the mistakes that they made because they focused so much. The old Jedi focused so much on like it has to be this way that they didn't realize that like you can be a Jedi and not be a part of the Order. Like this isn't an issue.
So in other words, Dooku, they weren't even following what the hell he was doing. I mean, he turned and everything, right?
Dooku left because he didn't agree with what was going on with the Jedi.
So he was still a Jedi, or he wasn't a Jedi?
He was a Jedi up until Qui-Gon got killed, and Qui-Gon was his Padawan. And he got so fed up with the way the Jedi were acting that he said, "That's it, I'm out. I'm going home." And then he met Palpatine, and Palpatine was like, "Yeah, you're right. They suck. Come with me."
Right. Okay.
So, like, and Kanan and Ezra, they don't necessarily. Well, Kanan was knighted, so Kanan is a Jedi. But Ezra is again, he's kind of falling more towards whatever they're considering the middle. And then we have the Bendu character who was voiced by Tom Baker, who also, I mean, he literally said, "The Jedi and the Sith, they follow the Ashla and the Bogan. I'm the one in the middle." Right. So this idea that there is a middle is canon. It's not gray Jedi. That's not canon. But this idea that you can follow both but still serve the greater good.
So let me ask you a question.
If you choose to.
Now, before, when you were a Sith, you were a Darth, right?
Yes.
Now, with the Knights of Ren, there are other Ren that are not Kylo. Like there's Bob Ren or Menthol Ren or whatever the hell it is, right? Yeah. I'm just saying. I'm looking at my holes and I'm like Menthol Ren. So like they could be running around as an order of Kylo. Is that what it is, the Knights of Ren, or is it? Just...
Yeah, they still serve the dark side. They're just not the Sith.
But is Kylo Ren the first of the Knights of Ren?
I don't know. There was a really good theory that I had heard. I don't know. I mean, it could still be true technically, but they were like, what if Snoke's real name is Ren? Or like it's like Ren Snoke or something like that. And
Snoke Ren. Well, Snoke Ren, right?
Yeah. So I mean, it's possible. One thing that threw a lot of people off, including myself, is that there's a character in Rebels named Sabine Wren, it's spelled W-R-E-N, and everyone was like, "Wait a minute, like you mean like Kylo Ren?" Like,
right?
Yeah, but apparently it's two totally separate things.
So this is the problem I have. What is the explanation for the fact that Rey could do all this stuff without training? Did the Force just train her themselves, like the entity, the thing itself, like the energy field itself? Because she had no training. Like, how is she doing all these things?
So that's something that I would like to be explained as well.
Okay.
My speculation, these aren't really theories, this is just like what I'm speculating, is it's either one of two things. It's either both of her parents were Force sensitive, even if they were nobody, because you can still be Force sensitive and not do things with the Force if you don't want to. In the old canon, when two Force sensitives had a child, that child was usually extremely powerful with the Force. For instance, Galen Marek, who was Starkiller in The Force Unleashed, both of his parents were Jedi, and he was on the level of Vader when he was much younger.
Do you think they ever would uncanon the fact that Vader was born without a father?
No.
They're gonna keep it that way?
They're gonna keep it that way.
Oh, yeah. I hate that. Okay.
So do I. That's my first theory, and that's more unlikely. I'm thinking maybe her parents were both Force sensitive. The other thing is that because Kylo Ren is as powerful as he is, even though he's not trained, maybe she is literally his opposite in the Force, like Snoke says, and the Force just happens to be that potent in her.
Hey, Sally.
Hey, Sally. Hold on, Chris. I don't know if she's seen.
Sally.
The Last Jedi. Sally, did you see The Last Jedi?
I haven't seen it, but I've heard spoilers, so go ahead.
All right. No, Sally. No. Thank you for the card, Sally. You're the greatest.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Christmas card. Yay. Okay.
The other thing I was going to say too is she's not really exemplifying any force powers that are like, oh my gosh. Like, yeah, she used the mind trick, which we don't really know how advanced that is because Ezra can do it, and Ezra is nowhere near as powerful as Rey.
The mind trick? What do you mean the mind trick? Oh yeah,
the Jedi mind trick.
Yeah, like Ben Kenobi. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm assuming since Ezra can do it, that Rey being able to do it really. I mean, that's you can scale that that way. As far as her like lifting up the rocks at the end, I think she's really tapping into that idea of being one with the Force because that's how she was able to beat Kylo Ren.
Right.
So she's probably just better at letting her conscious self go and just letting the Force go through her, which is what Yoda was trying to teach Luke and whatnot. So that's how one of those two explanations, the latter being the one that makes more sense to me. But I don't know. I hope that there's some sort of like this is why she's so powerful. But I think her doing certain things like lifting all those rocks at once, they maybe could have showed that she was struggling a bit at first. But
yeah,
I mean,
I'm just what it is. You have to understand. I'm old fashioned, Chris. I'm used to like this little guy going do or do not, like training and on your back and mine, like stuff like that, like actually learning rather than it's like like the Matrix pops in your head like a chip. I got it, and then I can do all the stuff without even learning,
Yeah.
So that's what I have a problem for. I mean, maybe I'm old fogey, I don't know, but I mean, I don't always question things. Like I do enjoy stuff, but when you've had all these Star Wars movies under your belt to watch, and then something different like this happens, you're like, what? So but besides that, because I don't really want Sally to be spoiled with this stuff. So Han Solo, what's happening?
Got me.
Oh,
I haven't heard a thing about that movie.
Wow.
Which is really making me wonder.
Yo, man.
Because when I went and saw this last Star Wars movie, there was like 3 posters. I
gotta tell you, I'm scared.
There was Winchester and Black Panther, and I forget what the middle one was.
I'm really upset we didn't get the trailer in Last Jedi for Han Solo. That would have been perfect time, I thought. But is it done?
Apparently.
I thought it was.
Yeah, me too.
It's coming out in May now, right?
Yeah, they didn't move it, which I'm surprised by. I thought they were going to move it.
So, like, when are we going to get a trailer? We got to get a trailer.
January.
No.
No. It's either going to be the last week of this month or January.
It's got to be this month. Has to be. That's like so close, though.
It is. I think we already would have had a trailer if everything was finished when it was.
It's probably a hot mess, isn't it?
I think so. I got to tell you, between that and me just not wanting to see a Han Solo movie, like, this is going to be like the first Star Wars movie that I go into where I'm just like, okay.
I would rather see a Magnificent Seven-esque Star Wars movie than Han Solo.
There was an idea for something like that, too.
That'd be a good idea, yeah.
Well, obviously, this is going to be the last Solo. You ain't getting a sequel to this one. Oh,
you know what would be hilarious?
What?
Is that like at the end of the Han Solo movie, it's like Kylo Ren watching on like a giant screen, and he's just like, "Wow."
Memories like the corners of my mind.
God, man, please no porks, please.
Oh
no,
yeah,
porgs are only isolated. So.
You think he's eating little chicken wings, but they're actually pork wings. Bacon rice.
Yeah, I don't know how we had a conversation on Facebook where I was interested in getting a Kylo Ren cake mix, like a cake mold. Like one minute we're talking about like Last Jedi and how pissed I was about it, and then the conversation is twisted towards objects of like Last Jedi and like there was I think David said something about a Death Star.
You have to constantly throw it and beat it against the wall.
David talked about a Death Star waffle maker.
Ooh.
And then I'm like, well, I want a Kylo Ren cake mold or something. And then there was what the hell? They have a Darth Vader cake mix. I don't know. It just got weird. We were talking about merchandising then after a while. I think I might have brought it up. I don't know, but because I have my Kylo Ren coffee mug that you see me drink out of. I just showed you my Kylo Ren tissues. I got my Kylo Ren tablecloth mat. It's like Kylo Ren's everywhere, man. Now they don't even wear the damn mask.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pissed. I want to see that guy with all that hair there. Get out of here.
And his muscles.
Put your shirt on, you stupid. No. But seriously.
That actually made me uncomfortable. Like when he turned around with no shirt, I was
you
like...
You know what? I had that not so fresh feeling. And I was just like... I just really felt like when me and Shara went to see 50 Shades of Grey, and there was all like women in there licking their lips, and I'm like, oh my God! It was just weird. And I'm like,
could you imagine like Snoke does the mind meld and he's like, this is the perfect time. And then he sees Ren without a shirt and he's just like, oh.
I'm waiting for that.
Sorry.
On the Robot Chicken or
it makes you wonder. It's like a guy writing a script for a girl. And Ray's like writing what Rian Johnson said, like,
Dear Diary.
Could you please put your shirt on? I'm like, what the hell? That made no sense. I'm like, why did you put that in there? God.
That was for the women.
It was for the Kylo fangirls.
It disturbed me, Sally. I was like, it was like a reverse of a horror movie. I was covering my eyes because I got blinded by Kylo's Ren, and I just no. I don't want to see the 6-pack. No, I'm sorry. I just not have.
I just want to say, like, congratulations to Matt the Radar Tech for becoming the CEO.
Yeah,
you did it.
Yes. That was the best Saturday Night Live thing ever. That thing. Remember that? That was great. Undercover boss. You
know what's hilarious about that too is that in that thing he was like, "Did you know Kylo Ren has an 8-pack?" And now I guess we know.
Yeah, man. Kylo's Rens. Yeah. All right, Kylo. That was like that time.
That was like that shirt on next time.
That was like that time. Remember in Star Trek Into Darkness? Where the girl just started taking everything off to change, and you're like, why is she doing that? You know, it was like made no sense. And the fans
it's basically the same thing, yeah.
Yeah, it was like fans were flipping out. Like,
I wonder if J.J. Abrams directed that scene. He was like, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna take his shirt off. No one will see it coming.
We're gonna cater to all audiences. Yeah. I'm surprised Luke didn't say milk. It does a body good. What the hell was that?
Where's the Got Milk commercial for that?
His face too. Like when he drank it, it's like ew. It's like yeah. I'm like ah! What the hell is happening with this movie?
And that alien looks back around and right at Ray.
I'm sure you heard that, right, Sally?
Oh yeah, I heard.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Luke milked it, boy. Let me tell you. And he drank it. Yeah. We got to see Luke fishing, too. Wow. Damn. All right.
Luke's been working out, too. Did you see the size of that fish?
Yeah, man. And without the force, too.
Luke's like, listen, man. That milk gives me protein. It builds my muscles.
Yeah.
I'm going to take my shirt off in the next movie.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
I wonder if they sell like the Snoke bathrobe. You think?
Listen, if I ever see a pair of Snoke slippers, I probably just laugh at them. I wouldn't buy them, but you know.
They probably recycle it as Golden Girls like robes and stuff like that.
Come on, let's say it, folks. Snoke was the Hugh Hefner of Star Wars.
He was based off of Hugh Hefner.
Yo, he was Pimp Daddy in that mother.
Yeah, he was Hugh Hefner of the Empire.
He was Pimp Daddy. And I gotta tell you, those Crimson Guards were way better than any friggin' guards, the Royal Guards they've ever had in history.
Yes.
Right?
Those mothers always got their ass kicked. I mean, even the prequels and in the friggin', you know.
And when Ren cut that lightsaber, or Rey cut the lightsaber, and it's like, and then you hear, and you look over, and there's that big old hole in the guard's eye, and it's like, we all knew what was coming. We knew what was coming.
Shit. Excuse my language, but all right. We got a time limit. Besides Star Wars, because that's the topic lately that we're all talking about, besides Han Solo, which we don't know what's going on with that, what's going on with Clone Wars?
You mean Rebels?
Oh, Rebels, yeah, I'm sorry.
We're waiting for the other half of the last season.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what the hell is going to happen, to be honest with you. I think that I think that Ezra and Kanan are probably going to get killed. We know that Hera, Chopper, and the Ghost make it out, the Ghost being their ship.
Right.
As for everybody else, I have no idea.
What are you guys' plans for the next week or so with the holidays? What are you guys doing? Going out with family?
I'm going to my sister's, probably Christmas Eve, and then don't have no idea Christmas.
Yeah. You too, Chris? You going out?
I think I'm just staying home.
Sally?
Yeah, I'll probably go to church Christmas Eve, and then we got a dinner Christmas with my grandma.
Nice. And of course, we got Doctor Who on Christmas Day.
I mean, other than watching Doctor Who, I mean, that was a given right there.
Yeah. We all saw that clip too, right? Did everybody see the new clip, Chris? Did you see it?
Which one?
With something grabbing the TARDIS and in the air with a crane?
I think I saw some of it, like a still image of it.
Yeah. That's going to be interesting. Interesting! We'll see how that is. What's left, Chris? That hopefully... we got Godzilla. Well, Godzilla's this year? No.
Next year.
Next year, damn it. All right. Oh!
But the marketing will start this year. So...
Okay.
We have to be on the look. Comic-Con, I think we'll get a trailer for it.
And we also got some big news today. I hope I have enough time to talk about it. Looks like Green Goblin returns in the comics on 797. Not sure if they're going to continue it for Amazing Spider-Man 800. But the big thing is that, and I'm kind of shocked actually, but it looks like Dan Slott may be leaving Amazing Spider-Man. So that is and they're saying, a rumor is that Nick Spencer, the guy that did Hydra Cap, is taking, it might be taken over. We have to see. I don't know what the hell's happening. We also heard that the sales for Spider-Man Renew Your Vows, where he's married to Mary Jane in that alternate universe, is doing so much better than the regular Spider-Man comic. Damn. Which kind of prompted them to say that maybe they're going to undo the Mephisto deal and have them get married in June. What was it, in June, I think it was? So there's that, and Mephisto is popping up fighting everybody in March all over the place. So there's that, and the Hulk is supposedly going to return for good. He might be immortal now. There's a lot of stuff happening. Johnny Blaze is returning as Ghost Rider in the comics.
Let's talk about that.
They're getting rid of that Ghost Driver, thank God.
Oh.
And it looks like the female Thor is going to have two hammers that she's going to beat the crap out of the other Thor with. There's a cover, she has two hammers. She's like, ah! Like, she's going to beat him with.
comment.
2 hammers. Wow. So we'll keep you posted on the comic aspect, but it looks like a lot of things are changing in Marvel, and
So
we'll
is
give
she
you.
using a cross your heart bra to keep these 2 hammers going? I'm sorry.
I don't know. All I know is that I'm wondering, if Mephisto is fighting everybody, why isn't he fighting Spider-Man? I guess we'll find out.
That's probably a lead up.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing it in every other issue of even Scarlet Spider's fighting Mephisto in Vegas or something. So, we'll let you know as the information comes available, and we got 1 minute left. So again, happy birthday, Chris!
Happy birthday,
Thank
Chris.
you.
Happy
Thank you.
birthday.
And this was the
Thank you.
Chris birthday cast, Everything Show edition. So, all right, guys, take care. Bye for now.